Welcome to today's myofascial release self-treatment moments. We're going to spend the next 20 minutes or so doing some gentle myofascial release self-treatment. This is primarily about curiosity about your own body, wondering a bit how it moves or how it doesn't move. But more than that, what happens when you engage with some self-treatment? What things might change? What might happen if you soften just a little bit? This is an individual practice. Anything I suggest here should always be modified, should always be filtered through your own internal sense of what you need most today. Obviously, where I can't see you, you can't see me, there's no way to give feedback here. You do want to trust what you feel. Anything you do with myofascial release self-treatment should instinctively feel good and helpful. Today's self-treatment, we're going to use a ball, a 4-inch inflatable ball. If you've been here at the office at Women's Myofascial Release, you should have one. If not, the next time you're here, please ask. We'll make sure you get one of your own. If you don't happen to have one of our self-treatment balls, any small inflatable ball can work. A tennis ball wrapped in a pair of socks is another option. A couple of rolled up pair of socks is another option. Anything that will allow you to soften and settle over it. In a pinch during travel, some people have used water bottles, rolled up hand towels, folded up hand towels. Again, anything that might allow you to soften. Even a yoga block today might be helpful. Be curious. Be compassionate with yourself as you engage in some self-treatment, and have fun. So as I mentioned, today's practice is a ball practice. Find a place where you can lie comfortably on the ground. You might spread out a yoga mat here or a blanket. You might have a soft, fluffy carpet that you just love. But find a place you can lay on the ground. Now you might want to start with your knees bent as you lay flat on your back. This is what we refer to as a constructive rest position. It's a way to allow your spine to settle into the floor, your spine to align out of gravity and start to self-correct. I don't want to rush you here. We've got all the time in the world. You can always come back and repeat this or pause this recording for a bit while you move at your own pace. But as you lay there on your back, with your feet bent or your legs out straight, either one, start to slow your breathing and quiet your mind as you settle here for some good self-treatment. Connect to your breath here. Inhale through your nose and then exhale through your nose with slow, deep breaths. Breathe all the way into your pelvis, into your root chakra. Inhaling deep into your being. Then exhaling, bringing that breath up and out through your abdomen, your ribs, your chest, your neck, and your throat. Breathe into the entirety of your entire body. Slow, deep breaths here. Maybe even just with this little bit of constructive rest, feeling some tension ease in your body. And when you are ready, if your legs aren't already bent with your feet on the floor, bend one leg up at a time. Then lift your hips up into a bridge, grab your ball, and place that under your sacrum. Now, if you're not sure what your sacrum is that triangular bone between the back of your hips. The bottom of it is your tailbone. The top of it's usually about where your waistband lands. It's at the base of your spine. Your sacrum is right there above your tailbone, right below your waistband, kind of in the center, right between your two hips. Make sure your feet are planted securely into the floor. And then roll side to side, just a little bit over that ball under your sacrum, loosening your hips just a little bit, feeling for any areas of tension. Just exploring what's there. Eventually finding a tight spot over on the right side of your hip, right side of the sacrum. As you find that spot, rolling around just a little bit, go ahead and stop your movement there. Let the ball settle into that tight spot, and then slowly lengthen your leg down to the floor on that side of your body. Lengthen through the heel, almost like you're going to push away from your body with the heel. And then let your body rest there. Your left leg bent, foot on the floor, the ball somewhere under the right hip, the right gluteal area, the right side of your sacrum, into an area that's a little bit tight, hard, or tender. You've lengthened the right leg away from you and then softened into that position. Your leg might roll out to the side. That's okay. What you don't want to be doing here is holding excess tension in your body, trying to remain in a static position. We actually do want the body to soften and settle here, relaxing into those tight, thickened areas of myofascial restriction. Bring your awareness back to your breath as you're here. A slow, full breath. Quiet in your mind. Your awareness gently in that area of tension or tightness on the right side of your body. You might imagine your breath expanding that area of tension or tightness. Inhaling in, and as you exhale, letting any excess tension drain out of your body. I'll just review a bit of good myofascial release self-treatment while we're here. Softening is essential. If you feel like you're in a fight with your body, that's not going to be helpful for easing myofascial restrictions. We have to work with what your body will allow. So if you're having a hard time softening, settling, or relaxing here, you might need to shift that ball just a little bit. You might need to soften the ball a little bit, either let some air out or put a blanket or a small towel over it just to ease some of that firmness of the ball. Or it might be a not yet. Trust what you feel here. This should feel instinctively good and helpful. And then good myofascial release happens over a period of 3 to 5 minutes or longer as you breathe into that area. Gently settle your awareness into that area. Let tissues lengthen, open, and change. As you stay here, you might want to tap into what you're feeling there just a little bit and lengthen your leg away again. We're always looking to take up slack in as many dimensions as possible. As the ball softens into thicker, tight tissues, lengthening away in the heel encourages that area to open. It encourages tissues to start to glide. Explore just a little bit how you might take up a little bit of slack if that's starting to ease in tension. A few more slow, deep, full breaths here. Inhaling, breathing into that area where the ball is, and exhaling, letting excess tension drain from the body. If you need more time here, go ahead and pause this recording. But if you're ready to move on, go ahead and bend that right leg up so that both feet are again on the floor. roll around just a little bit, gently moving that ball over toward the left side of your body, looking for an area of tenderness, tightness, or tension on that left side. Explore what's there. We're not symmetrical. It might not be in the same place. You might intuitively feel like you need to find another spot on the right side. There's no wrong answer here other than not trusting what you feel. Please work with what your body needs in this particular practice session. If you are on that left side, I'll act as if you are. Go ahead, when you find a tight or a tender spot on that left side, go ahead and pause there, keeping the ball into that area of tension or tightness, and lengthen that left leg away from you. Straighten it down onto the floor, and then reach and lengthen through the heel, keeping the right leg bent with the right foot on the floor. Now, this generally feels different, or often feels different, having the leg lengthened away than when you have your leg bent. If you need to, you might need to shift just a little bit to keep the ball engaged into that area of tightness. You might need to shift a little bit to ease that area of tightness if you suddenly find you can't catch your breath. This should be easy to stay with. That doesn't mean it might not be uncomfortable, but you shouldn't feel like you're jumping out of your skin or forcing yourself to stay on the ball. That's not good myofascial release self-treatment. As you settle into this new shape, this new configuration on the floor, bring your awareness back to your breath. Slow, full, deep breathing all the way into your body, down into your pelvis as you inhale, letting that breath expand up into the abdomen, the ribs, and the chest. Exhaling all the way out, without effort, without thought, simply letting the air leave from your lungs. Not a forceful exhale. Breathing in again, perhaps imagining that area where the ball is expanding, opening through that tight area. And then as you exhale, letting any excess tension drain from your body, kind of like water running down a hill. As that area of tension softens, you might want to explore just reaching your heel away just a little bit again, and then letting that muscular effort cease. Let this be easy. There's nothing to do here, nowhere to be. Stay with your awareness of what's happening in your body. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to awareness of where that ball is, to awareness of your breath. Slow, deep breathing, gently reaching your left heel away from your body a bit more if you want to. Good myofascial release self-treatment happens over a period of 3 to 5 minutes or longer. Depending on what's happening in your body, you might need much longer here. Again, feel free to pause this recording and stay with this ball on the left side. If you are ready, though, go ahead and bend that left leg again so your foot comes to rest on the floor. Start to roll a bit back and forth until that ball comes under your sacrum again in the center. Roll a little bit from side to side. Roll a little bit towards your feet and towards your head, feeling what's different in the tension in your hips from when you started 10 or so minutes ago. There's no wrong or right answer here. Simply notice what's different. Well, this is another good place to pause the recording if you'd like to go back to another area of tension on the right or the left side. If you're happy with where that is right now, go ahead and roll off that ball under your sacrum and move it up to your mid-back, somewhere between your shoulder blades. If you're wearing a bra, it's going to be right around your bra strap line. With that ball between your shoulder blades, go ahead and put both hands behind your head to support your head just a little bit. Your knees should be bent. With your feet on the floor, go ahead and lift your hips just a little bit and roll up and down along that ball from about mid-back up to the base of your neck, right at the top of your shoulders. Just roll along that upper part of your spine, looking for any sore spots, just paying attention of what's there between mid-back and top of your shoulders. When you find a spot that you like, go ahead and pause there. Let your hips drop back to the floor. You can keep your hands under your head to support it, or you can let your head also drop to the floor. For some of you, you may need a pillow under your head, depending on how inflated your ball is, depending on how tight you are through the chest and the ribs and the front of the shoulders. Prop and support whatever you need to, so that that ball can work into an area of tightness without you clenching or bracing or resisting what's happening there. So hips are on the floor, feet are probably on the ground. If you're comfortable, you can go ahead and straighten your legs. Bent or straight, doesn't matter. Your hands might be under your head supporting it just a little bit, or you might have your head on the floor on a pillow and your arms by your side. That ball's in an area of tension, somewhere in your upper mid-back around your shoulders. Again, slowing your breathing. Slowing your breathing, quieting your mind. Letting this be easy. Being curious about what happens as you soften in your body. Wherever that ball is, under your mid to upper back, it's helping to create space in the ribs and in the spine for deeper, fuller breath, for improved movement of the shoulders, for improved space between the vertebrae, allowing the discs to decompress, allowing the neck above it to move with greater ease. Notice how your breath might change as you take full, deep breaths with the ball there. Your body might begin to self-correct as it begins to get some space. It's not unusual for ribs to pop or shoulders to pop as there becomes space, more space in the body. As you soften and settle over the body here, as you soften and settle over the ball here, you might be curious what happens if you bend to the right just a little bit, like you're doing a little bit of a side bend. The back, the spine, the shoulders, the hips stay on the floor, but you just kind of curl in a C toward the right. And then back to center and curl in a C toward the left, just a little bit. Testing those directions. Back to center, then staying over to the right in a side bend. Opening the ribs a little bit differently over the ball. Opening the spine a bit differently over the ball. Again, noticing what might be changing in your breath as you do this. Expanding the ribs on the left while you're curled or bent, side bent to the right. Feel the difference in your breathing. Now, you don't want to push into pain here. You don't want to push into something that causes you to hold your breath. That's an indication, or can be an indication, that this is too much. You should be able to maintain that connection with your breath. Slow, deep breathing, always bringing your awareness back to what is happening in your body. Your head might have followed this side bend. You might feel some organic, instinctive, intuitive motion, an unwinding sort of motion. It's a motion without effort or without agenda as you're here in this side bend. You might reach one arm overhead and one arm down more toward your feet. You have no right or wrong way. Let your body open and expand in the way you need in this particular moment. A few more slow, deep breaths, side bent here to the right. If this feels good, stay here. Reaching a bit more towards your feet on that right side, lengthening through the top of your head, expanding, lengthening your spine as you do. If you are ready, go ahead and let your body slowly come back to center, not moving the ball, but the spine straightening up. Again, hips stay on the floor. Your feet may or may not be bent, be on the floor. Your legs may or may not be bent. And then go ahead and slowly start to side bend to the left. You may notice a difference here. You may side bend more or less. We don't need to go to end range here. We're just opening through the right side of our body differently, using that ball as a lever as we curve into a C shape toward the left. You might need support of your hands under your head, or you might have an arm down by your side, almost like it's reaching toward that left foot. Let this feel good, whatever you can do here, whatever it is your body needs. There might be an instinctive, natural, organic movement that happens in your head or neck, or even in your shoulders, your hips, or in your body. As tissues get some space to move, and the body starts to unravel, starts to unwind into corrective movement, self-corrective movement. Keep that connection with your breath, breathing open the right side of your body as you're curved into a C toward the left. Let this feel good for the ribs and the spine, the lungs to move, to expand more fully. There might be a good stretch through the right side of your neck. Let this feel good. Slow, deep breaths. Reach a little bit farther toward the left if you care to. Exhaling out any excess tension. feeling the difference in your body as you gain some space to breathe. As your shoulders become a bit more free, your hips and low back become a bit more free. Again, this should be feeling good, instinctively good and helpful, even if a bit uncomfortable. Always check in with where you might be bracing or clenching, especially if it's in the low back. Check in if you need some support under your head, if you need to ease off any side bending. If the ball needs a little bit less air, let this be your practice. If you are side bent to the left, though, reach just a little bit more as you take 1 or 2 more full, deep breaths. And as you exhale, go ahead and slowly bring your spine back to center if you're ready. Roll up and down that ball under your spine. Spine should be center. Roll around till that ball's back to center. Roll up and down. And again, just notice what's different. Go ahead and bridge your hips up. Support your head with your hands. As you explore what's different there in that upper section of your back, your shoulders, and your spine. This is a good place if you want to pause and find another tight or tender spot there. You can repeat that whole practice. Find another tight or tender spot. Let your hips drop, your head drop. Stay there for a few moments, a couple minutes, and then side bend to the right, and then side bend to the left. That's all our time for our practice, though, today. These are short, simple ways to do some good, effective myofascial self-treatment. If you're not pausing the video, the recording here, go ahead and roll off that ball. Set it aside. Let your spine come back to center. Knees bent, feet on the floor. We're back in that constructive rest position that we started in. You might feel like you've got a ball-shaped hole in your back where we've just been working, totally normal. Go ahead and let your body, your spine settle here, noticing what might be different from when you started. There's no right or wrong answer. Again, this is about curiosity, about your own body. Where does it move or not move? What's different from where we started? I would encourage you to take a few moments here to just settle and breathe again into the entirety of your body. Deep breaths in and out. As you exhale, you might imagine that your spine's sinking even more into the floor. Your head and neck might begin to unwind just a little bit with that increased space. You might feel like lengthening your legs into a corpse pose, a savasana. Letting this feel good. To rest, to reset tension levels here. And stay as long as you have time for. And when you do get up, I'd encourage you, don't just jump up. Roll over slowly. Wiggle your hands, your feet, your toes, your legs side to side, your arms. Start to wiggle and jiggle a bit of movement back into your body before you get up. Incorporating this change, integrating this change. And then meet me here next time for some good myofascial self-treatment. If you have any questions, drop us a line, drop us a comment, give us a call. We'd love to hear how you're doing. Your body will thank you. We'll see you next time.